Welcome back, everybody, to the 1817 Project, and I
have a dream that white people and black people and even Chinese people
can have a conversation. What I'd like to further expand on, as of right now, is the ongoing situation with ICE, trying to enforce immigration laws and track down undocumented immigrants, and to see what situation they are currently in, whether or not they are just here illegally or if they have an extensive criminal record. Beyond the fact of just being here illegally, there is a ton to unpack there, but we're going to slowly try to make our way through this very intense, chaotic, and just ever-expanding situation. The one thing that I really wanted to talk about is lately in all these videos that I've been surfacing, almost a video a day of a new situation where an undocumented immigrant has come into contact with an ICE agent. I've noticed a trend. Now, I may get a lot of backlash.
You don't say!
It's a very emotional situation. It's a very hard situation. It's a very broad situation. It is not easy to just have a simple answer. But what I'm seeing in a lot of these encounters, in that moment when that ICE agent approaches that human being, if that individual would just take a breath and answer their questions and just follow orders. Yes, I'm a U.S. citizen, or no, which obviously in certain situations, if they're not a U.S. citizen and they are here illegally, obviously they're not just gonna out front admit that. If you are a U.S. citizen and you have been here for a number of years, why fight them? Even if they come off, it's just blatantly off, just like crazy racist. Oh, I approached you because you look a certain way, or oh, I approached you because I heard you talking to this individual and you had a crazy accent. I need to know if you're a U.S. citizen. Yes, starting the conversation off like that, I will 100% admit, not good. I'm pretty sure there's probably other ways to go about it to where you don't already put that individual in a bad mindset, a pissed off mindset. They feel like they're being discriminated against, the whole nine. I'm pretty sure there's a way to go about it. Even in the worst case scenario, if they are actually truly racist at heart, in that situation, if you would just simply follow their orders, give them your license, give them your passport. Yes, I'm an American citizen. This is when I was born, this is my name, and you just follow the procedure 9 times out of 10, and it's always just one side that is shown, right? It's never the opposite viewpoint. It's never the opposite side of the coin. I've seen a multitude of videos where it looks really bad, where they're dragging people through the streets. It looks like they just show up and they're practically kidnapping people. And then on the flip side, there are actually people who were approached, who followed orders, gave them their license, identified who they were, and in the entirety of that video only took maybe 2 minutes, possibly 3. And the ICE agent just said, okay, bye. Have a good day. You're good to go. And then the 2-3 gentlemen just turned, walked away, and got in their cars and left. That simple. Now, still, did that person probably feel like crap because it's like, hey, they just walked up to me because I look a certain way or sounded a certain way and blah, blah, blah. Sure, kind of crappy. I get that. He probably still felt bad. But instead of instigating human beings who have clearly either showed a habit, you know, if you try to instigate something, that's only going to make the situation that much worse.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
They know they've been breaking the law. They know they're obviously not a U.S. citizen. They're hiding something, whatever the case may be. It seems like a lot of these videos that's been the case, and they're just fighting for every inch of their life because they just simply don't want to get deported or have to stand before a judge, which I understand that's a knee-jerk reaction for them. I mean, I understand the motivation behind it. Now, let me be clear. I'm not painting a broad stroke in saying that there aren't any situations where ICE individuals have not gone out of their way to harass, improperly enforce those immigration laws against certain individuals. I'm not saying that has not happened, but what I am trying to say, a majority of the situations that have occurred could have been de-escalated if, one, they would just simply follow orders, whether they like it or not, or they feel like they're being mistreated. It would have ended very quickly. And two, if they didn't have 2, 3, 4, 6, 10, 20 people around that particular situation, they're not helping. Because in a lot of videos, that's all I'm seeing is these people holding out their phones, not really helping at all, just screaming at the top of their lungs, flipping off, throwing material, impeding the ICE agents, telling the individual to do some crazy crap of, hey, fight back, don't listen to them.
Run, bitch! Run!
Drive away, all these other different things. It's a very intense, emotional situation when it probably doesn't need to be. Now, if there is a situation where an ICE agent is clearly in the wrong, I'm 100% on your side, and that ICE agent needs to get the badge ripped off his chest, needs to retire, needs to quit, needs to be fired, whatever the case may be, needs to get moved somewhere else. I'm 100% on board with that. It is hard for me to just appease one side or the other, Democrats, liberals, Republicans, conservatives. I see issues on both sides of the spectrum. I really do. There's clearly issues on the Democratic side and there's clearly issues on the Republican side. And that's just a fact. Nobody's going to admit to that. Nobody's going to admit to their faults. That's just how childish and tribalistic and dogmatic our nation has become. And nobody wants to give in on the situation. So people who see those rioters outside of ICE detention centers, screaming, chunking rocks at vehicles as they leave, and then you have people on the right who are openly going out of their way to instigate situation, turn a blind eye to a bad situation. Either way you look at it, it's all bad on both sides. It just is. If you're on the left, you're either protecting an individual that you truly don't know and don't have a background on. A lot of people on the left will go to their rescue without doing their due diligence, and they are trying to protect these individuals who probably are rape, child abusers, murderers, obviously not all of them, but some of them. And of course you have your lower scale, just they were a thief or anywhere along those lines, right? And on the right, they typically have just one pair of glasses. When they see all these undocumented immigrants, they don't care if there's the only thing that they did was come here illegally. They want them gone. They're just cutthroat. They don't care what their sob story is. They don't care how much they've been a part of the community. They don't care if they're a mother, father, they have children, doesn't matter. You're here illegally, get out.
You need to leave!
I'm in a new spot, different location. No, I just got off work. But anyway, that's pretty much I have all to say on that. Please comment down below. Helpful insights. What did you think about my idea about how to possibly de-escalate those situations? If you agree, disagree, even if you disagree, try to actually be helpful and send your ideas my way. I'm not picking a side in this war. I'm just trying to weed my way through it and try to obtain as much knowledge as possible, and then maybe further down the road truly come to an unbiased conclusion. This is the 1817 Project, here to have a conversation, not a debate. So long.